Driving, man, it's a comfort to know they have it.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have everybody here, Mike?
Never know. We
I
have
don't know
you.
that anyone from Shelter Living is going to be here.
Oh.
today.
Okay. Well, let's get started then. A little early, but get the show on the road.
Excellent. Commissioners. Introduce everybody to start with. I am Mike Morris. I am the past chair of TARC. And we have with us Eileen Dorn, who's our executive director, and Kathy and Dale Stifler from... It's not, I'm not used to saying that.
I know it.
I'm from East Hills Capper Foundation. All right, well, to cut to the chase, last year we knew it was a tough year, and we cut, and obviously everybody cut, and knowing that things are better, but still, we are coming back requesting the same fund as last year. And I know you guys are busy, so I can give you lots of great stories about what we do, but you know us well, and we'd like to request the same level of funding.
I respect that.
You're very, very important to all of us, what you do for us, and the number of people we get to help because of you. But we feel this is a partnership, and we really appreciate what you do for us.
That feeling's mutual. Questions?
Just the same as I've asked for Vallejo, TARC, Breakthrough House. Last year, the budget did get cut. What has been the impact from the cut? Has any services been cut back? People that were getting services aren't getting services? What has been the impact?
See, and that's why I have my executive director. Please do so.
Well, I made a promise last year that we wouldn't cut services to anybody, so we didn't, but we did cut administrative positions. And we're feeling that pinch. I told Laura Marple, who's our finance director, that she could have a pass today just because we're transitioning to some new finance software. And yesterday was our go live date, and I said, you know, when you're dealing with smaller departments in finance, in HR, we cut 2-3 positions from HR. And we are cutting our guardian agent position from a full-time to a half-time because the other part of his time was doing more advocacy work on behalf of others who were not served by the guardianship program at TARC. So we have had to make some cuts. We did not cut any persons from our services, but our children's services numbers went up again this year. The number of referrals went up by about 60 just in the first 6 months of this year. And we are running, frankly, at a deficit budget right now, which we anticipated might be the case because we had made the decision not to cut positions in any of our program areas because we simply couldn't continue to provide the same level and quality of services if we cut those positions. And our board, you know, was supportive of that. Can we continue to do that long term? As you all know, no, you can't. Not if you want to stay in business. But as we said, we wanted to see if we could weather the storm with the cuts that we did receive. But we also were the recipient of one individual's incredible generosity in light of the funding cuts that we got, not just from the county, but particularly the cut in United Way funding, which was $210,000, who stepped up and almost single-handedly made up for that loss, which is what enabled us to not have to cut any services in children's services.
Commissioner?
Kind of on those lines, you said you're in deficit budget, so where's that critical point then? And I'm sure your board's having that discussion 2-3 years out.
Well, right now, I think the issue for us is how much can we make up this year in some of our fundraising efforts. We also are in the middle of a capital campaign because, as we told you last year, we had made the commitment to go forward with a renovation of gears because our facility really was not adequately meeting the needs of the persons that we were supporting, and we're going through that process. The gears. Day services, it's our day services program for our adults, and so we are moving forward with that. But we are probably also very mindful of cuts that may come from the state in terms of our CDDO, which, as you know, with CanCare, the role of the CDDO has been changed. Funding has been cut some, not extensively, and we didn't cut positions from our CDDO, but we have 3 positions that we did not choose to fill at this time, sort of waiting to see if that's going to be a permanent situation, so that will help us to get through.
We are unique. The CDDO, Community Developmental Disability Organization, is operated by TARP, but it also oversees all of the developmental disability organizations in Shawnee County. And we're housed inside of TARP. CDDO is housed inside of TARP. And we're one of the few organizations around the state that is both the CDDO and also a provider. And as CanCare looks at this, there's we have never had an issue. We keep it separate, but there is, you want to keep those lines clear between who does what, because TARP reports to the CDO as well. We report to them, but we're also,
Right.
so those are things that when we talk about the CDDO and CanCare and that cut, but those are things that, all these moving parts we have. We have 6 different divisions, and it's a big organization. We start from the fact that we started in a garage because moms and dads were not happy how their kids were treated and the care they received. The founding family started out of a garage. Now we're 150 employees.
Yeah.
It's a
Huge.
testament to what you can do to help people. And our expansion is people keep living longer. When we started, if you were born with a disability, life expectancy was nominal. Downs babies live 20 years. Now we're 65, 70. We have people in our seniors programs that are 75, which is why you have a guardianship program, because now, before, if you had to kill a child that was born with a disability, you count on the fact that you were more likely to outlive them. Now that's not the case. So when the parents pass away, who takes care of that child? Because that child, no matter what, with that disability, is always somebody's kid, and they're 70 years old or something. Somebody has to take. That's our guardianship program, which is where we have to cut some. Guardianship doesn't pay. The reason we're taking care of it, they don't make. But you want to take care of people. So there's people live longer, which is why we're doing our senior program continues to grow, which is great. It's fun. People living longer. It's just
Different set of challenges.
And as I said, your support has been phenomenal. Now, if you can use some of your strength to reason with United Way, the amount of people we help, we don't fit into 66607 and 66605. And the people we help aren't going to meet reading standards at age in 3rd grade. But that doesn't mean that we're not making a major impact on people's lives. It's kind of grumpy that we're still grumpy about that.
Waiting list, or,
Well, some folks have come off of the underserved waiting list.
okay.
Additional folks are supposed to be coming off of the waiting list, but we haven't received those names yet in terms of those dollars being released. But we have had a number of people, but that's all through the MCOs. So that somebody was on the underserved waiting list, and just, I don't want to offend you if you know exactly what that's about, but they are receiving one waiver service already, but maybe they were waiting still for funding. Say they received residential, but they were not receiving day services, or they received day and not residential. So as long as they were on the underserved list, the MCOs were
Hang on.
told that they, the managed
Managed
care
care
organizations,
organization,
the managed care organizations were to provide to meet their needs. That doesn't mean they were going to receive full funding for full day services or full residential, but that they would come off of that waiting list. And so we have brought more people into service, and I'm sure that Easter Seals has as well, from that underserved list. But we're still challenged.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, this year we said we're not going to cut any program positions, and we didn't. We did cut some administrative, or we rather didn't fill vacancies when they occurred. But I know that my admin staff has been pushed pretty hard in that process. But I think in terms of what we do, what's consistent with our mission, we were committed to maintaining that guardianship program. We made promises to families 30, 40 years ago that
Yeah.
we would be their
Yeah.
guardian when they passed. But of course, that's not a service that is that carries funding with it. So
Sure.
we do utilize county mill funds for that.
Commissioner.
To take up from kind of where Commissioner Bueller talked about the keywords being the critical point.
Mhm.
Can TARC sustain more cuts this year? And if so, we didn't cut services in 2014. Would a cut impact services in 2015?
It would have to. It would have to. One of the things that we fund, we fund assistive technology with county mill funding, and that's across the board in the county to a wide range of folks. And that again is not a funded service. It's something that TARC has been providing. I don't know how we could continue to offer those services if we were to sustain an additional cut for next year. We just couldn't do it. There are not, I mean, you know, there's not enough cars in the county to come through Winter Wonderland to make up for
Yeah,
the
right.
loss of those dollars right now.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bueller, anything?
No, just thanks
Okay.
for all that you do.
Do you have
Yeah.
any questions for
Greatly
Eastern
appreciate
Hills,
it.
Kepler?
I don't think so. We started off this morning, one of the things I said was, I hope our advocates are realistic, and I think you've shown that you're realistic, and again, I respect and appreciate that. So, I don't think there's anything else.
And we appreciate everything you do for us. In Winter Wonderland, can't do it without you.
Oh,
Your sheriffs, they're phenomenal. They really are. They're great.
And we didn't have any issues taking anything down or, no?
No.
Okay,
You guys,
Okay.
the
Good.
help, we really appreciate it.
good, good.
very welcome. Thank you.